welcome to or welcome back to Amandasaur Art. My name's Amanda and I like dinosaurs and art. Today I'm starting a new series called Reflect and Create. This is where I take verses in scripture or stories in scripture or worship songs that inspire me, and I create works for Jesus. It's just Christian artwork. And so I thought I would start this series up on my channel. I had a small group with it for a little while and I stopped it in December for some personal reasons, and I was about to start it back up and now we're not allowed to go outside. So today I decided to start it off with one of my favorite passages because it has a dinosaur in it. And so here it is on the screen. It is Job 40:15 through 24. Look at the behemoth, which I made along with you, which feeds on the grass like an ox. What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. Its tail sways like a cedar, the sinews of its thighs are close-knit. Its bones are tubes of bronze, its limbs are like rods of iron. It ranks first among the works of God, yet its maker can approach it with his sword. The hills bring it their produce, and all the wild animals play nearby. Under the lotus plant it lies, hidden among the reeds in the marsh. The lotuses conceal it in their shadows, the poplars by the stream surround it. A raging river does not alarm it. It is secure, though the Jordan should surge through its mouth. Can anyone capture its eyes, or trap it and pierce its nose? And so as you see, I have a lot underlined, highlighted in that part, and later on I'll do a little bit more in depth on my Bible studying. Since for this video I was using a scripture I had previously studied and worked in before, I decided to not go into detail on all that stuff. I'll just do it later. I just wanted to show you my Bible and what it looks like. This is going to be another digital speed paint. I'll probably do more traditional art with this Reflect and Create later on. I started this as a digital art, not realizing I was going to do a video out of it. I did record it. I kind of gotten in the habit of just recording everything, and then if I don't use it, I don't use it. And so that's what I did here. Now, I have been wanting to get a tattoo of the behemoth on my forearm to finish off my lower arm sleeve. I don't know what to call it. I actually don't know. And so this is kind of my inspirational sketch for the tattoo artist in the future for what I'm looking for. But my husband had the great idea a while back to just have the artist look at the verse and say, I would like the behemoth tattooed on me, and here's the verses and all that. And I think that would be a really cool, fun way to do it. I might show them my tattoos kind of like the direction I was thinking of going, but let them kind of have free reign on the rest of that. And so that's just a fun little fact. Here is the sketch I have for what I believe the behemoth to be. I've done my own personal research. I am not a paleontologist. I am not, I can't say for certain that this is the behemoth and what the behemoth would look like. All I can say is from what I did, from the best of my knowledge, this is what I believe the behemoth to be. I will insert a little title card here to tell you what animal I base this off of. I don't know how to say the name. I'm not even going to try, just so you know. As you can see, I added grass along the feet of the behemoth here because it says, which feeds on grass like an ox. So I thought, have to be standing on grass to kind of incorporate that element. I did not include every single little part of this that is said in the scripture for this piece. I incorporated some main elements, but I took a little bit of freedom. I wanted to give the idea of the behemoth and have it be a little bit of a story to tell in this piece. And so that's why I didn't use every little element, because it's also just a cool little drawing I'm doing as a tattoo idea, not anything final. I was just having fun with it, playing around with concepts and everything. Right here you can see me adding the cedar leaf because the most important part of this scripture is its tail sways like a cedar. That part is important because a lot of translations said, or at least used to say, that the behemoth was an elephant or a hippo, and it says right there that its tail sways like a cedar, and if you see cedar trees, they don't look anything like a hippo tail or a elephant tail, so it's a very important part to distinguish that this is not a hippo or an elephant, and then all the other things line up with it being a dinosaur, and so that's why I added the cedar leaf there. I also added a fun little friend to the left of my behemoth because of the part where it says, "The hills bring it their produce and all the wild animals play nearby." So I decided to add a little bunny rabbit friend for my behemoth. This is me cleaning up my sketch just a little bit because I wasn't quite happy with how my sketch looked. I wanted it to be a little bit more I wanted it to be better. So I defined it just a little bit more and fixed my bunny rabbit. I also changed the positioning of my bunny rabbit to fit better with the whole thing. And the idea of putting two in there is kind of cute, but I'd rather just stick with the one. Right here you can see me trying to do the sketching of all the details for the cedar leaf. It took forever. I had many failed attempts until I finally got something I liked. I would say this was my least favorite thing to draw, but there's another part that's my least favorite thing to draw that we will be getting to momentarily. As you can see, I kept adding too much detail. I think that was the issue, is I kept wanting to do more, when in reality it looks better with a little bit less. Right here is where I begin the lotus flower. Now, as you heard in the scripture, it says under the lotus plant it lies. And when I first heard that, I thought of a lotus flower. But if you think of a lotus flower, they're really small compared to a dinosaur. So I did more research, and I cannot remember what version it was that I read lotus tree, but it was a different translation of scripture that said lotus tree. And so from there I looked it up, and from Google I found a lotus tree leaf. And so right next to the lotus and the cedar leaf, I put in a lotus leaf. And so that is the representation I have for that little part of the scripture. I'm not going to keep the lotus. Don't get attached to the lotus. I tried and tried and tried. I could not make the lotus work. It's like trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. I added the poplars off in the background because ever since I read about the behemoth and thought about drawing it and painting it, those have always been in my head in the background, and so I had to incorporate them here, and it kind of balanced out the rest of the piece because it was so heavy on the right hand side, and just putting those there just really balanced it out for me, and I really liked it. With all the black outlining, I did it in pencil first, and then I used my technical pen in Procreate to do the rest of it. I did try to boldly outline a lot of it, and then I undid some of it because it just did not look right, like on the cedar leaf. Did not like how that looked, and so I had to change it. It was fun adding grass. I haven't done grass in my drawings that are in a similar style to this. If you look at my Instagram, shameless self promo, you'll see a little series I did with traditional pen and paper in a similar theme to this. And this one's different than the rest, and I really like it. It's also different because, as you can see, the lotus flower it didn't fit. I tried and tried. I even tried putting it in color and then doing black and white. It just did not fit. I couldn't figure out what it was. I just couldn't get it to look right. I'm sure if I tried redrawing it and trying again and again, I probably could have made it work, but I wasn't happy with it. So what I end up doing later is I change it to a peony, And remember at the beginning where I said I want a behemoth tattoo? Well, peonies are like my favorite flower, and on my arm I have a lot of floral stuff going on, and a peony would just fit very well with my sleeve, I think. And so I put that in there as a personal thing for me. I know it's not in the scripture, but I love peonies, and I just wanted to put one in here because I love the behemoth, and I'm sorry. It took a little bit of artistic freedom. This was a very hard drawing for me. I struggled with a lot of it. I also struggled with the new camera angles that I'm doing, trying to get all of these downloaded to my iPad so I can edit, and getting it set up. Oh man, getting it set up. I have to have my brother and husband help me every single time. I'm just awful at setting up camera stuff, and they do it for a living, so they know what they're doing. Back to talking about Reflect and Create real quick. I will be doing this every week. I will do my best to try to be inspired more by scripture and all that for what I'm creating, so that way I am able to make a video every week. Sometimes I find it hard for me to do that. I've been diving more and more into Bible studying by myself and with my husband. I think that's helped me get back in the mojo for this, and like it set the fire in my heart, and so that's why I want to do this. So I'll be posting every Monday. I don't know what time exactly every Monday, but I'll be posting every Monday a new Reflect and Create themed artwork. It probably all won't be digital like this one. I'll probably do more traditional stuff too and experiment a little bit more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!